Okay. Now, so one thing I found is when I brought this in to MicroStation, I brought the CAD file that you've been working on. That was from, I guess it was from Birch River. What are they? Is that Appalachian Survey?
No, it was from an old Appalachian Surveys job. It was way before Birch River. It was back in the 90s, I think.
Oh, okay. So that was the part of that. So what is Birch Rivers? What's the company name? I can't.
Allegheny Survey.
Allegheny. Thank you. I didn't think it was Appalachian. I thought Appalachian was yours. Yeah. So anyway, so here's one thing that I found with this. With this file is whenever you are, let's see, whenever you, shoot. Let me make that a little bit better. Anyway, whenever you set up, whenever you tell MicroStation where something is in the world in terms of a geographic coordinate system, you can turn on, and it's like AutoCAD, regular AutoCAD in this regard. You can turn on a background map that is downloaded in real time from Bing aerials. Okay, so it lines right up. There's their little farm up there in the corner. But if you look at this shift, you see how this original, that yellow property line, doesn't line up. You know, this is where the fields, excuse me, where the field lines up in the photograph, just eyeballed, and yet here's the yellow lines. Right. Okay, same thing up here. You see, there's a little bit of a shift.
Yeah.
So there could have been, I don't know, some kind of a control issue going on, or maybe there was some, or maybe the monumentation is out there. That's where all this stuff falls. I don't know. Okay, but
I don't think so. I think it's
yeah.
tree line.
So there's some little shift going on there. So I'm thinking, well, you know, we got some kind of weird stuff going on. And then I double checked it with a couple of other sources. This is a clip out of the Google Earth map, and you can see that tree line is still that same offset away off the yellow line. Okay. Same deal there. So that's no, you know, there's no particular problem with that, other than when we use this for your location map, you might want to just kind of shift the drawn boundary back a little bit. And then there's your 500 feet. Now this is still outside the CAD lines where those are, and this is the image. So what I would say to do for this one is we would take take this, and then you could, you know, do some kind of a move like that. So you see, I just sort of eyeballed that into place. You see the tree lines are now sort of lined up. So that would be what you could do. Now, to get the other map done, let me see if it's in this file or not. Find my proper tools. Let's see here. All right, so if I've got No, okay, so that's that. All right, so, and I had also noticed, by the way, I had taken the corner back here as the coordinate that this corner gave me. And I had typed that into a coordinate conversion service on, I forget what website it was, but anyway, it was one of those geospatial type websites. And so it it plopped in, and you could see it on the aerial mapping behind it. You could plot that converted coordinate. And from this being NAD 27, with that assumption, it plops itself right down in the same place, the same as where this image goes as well. And that's your Google image. It's imagery from Google Earth. Now, it's assuming that is NAD 27. So I have this set up as NAD State Plane 27. And based on that, I had converted with this GIS software, this world file. I did this edit world file, and I had gotten the here's the original, and that is in UTM NAD 83 UTM meters. And so I did this transformation on it, where I used this USGS downloads was the name of this transformation that I set up. And these values are using the GRS 80, and these values were published in the metadata for that, that GeoTIFF file of that area. So I knew all of these parameters. I was able to get that information, type it in here, and do this transformation from that into well, actually, when I had done it, I had done let me make sure here a second. Anyway, when I had done that transformation, it came in and matched where the Google Earth information matched as well. And then once I had transformed that world file, I then just went into the same software you have under images and said, place image by world file. Now that's where I always thought that when we ran that command, because it gave us an option here to do this unit conversion, I thought it was going to do the reprojection, but it does not. It will do the unit scaling, but like if you say your photographs in meters and you're in US survey feed, it will do that scaling, but it doesn't change that upper corner, okay? So when we get that information, let me show you where that is here a second. Image stuff. Let me bring this over. So here's the original world file for that GeoTIFF. It was this one, right? Well, that's the projection information. But the world file, let's see, here is that information. This is where I got those numbers, like the Faust Easting and there's a process date. It was a transverse Mercator projection. Here's our scale factor. Here's our longitude of the central meridian, and here's our latitude, origin, and Faust Easting and all of that. So those are what I used to create that transformation file. So the original now was, I'm here in the original files, these numbers right here. There's the amount of scaling that tells it what pixel size it is. And these are the X and Y coordinates of the upper left corner of the image. Okay, so that's what we use to bring that in with your software. Once we did the transformation, it came out as this one, or GeoTIFF. So that would be, here's the original, and after the transformation, it becomes this. So it takes that original thing. So if you notice this number, 6.668, blah, blah, in that number, 2.032, well, that number there, if you'll do the math, is probably, I'm going to guess 3.2808 times different from this one, or whatever that the differential is between a foot and a meter. Okay, so it took care of that and shifted your coordinates, and now you can see these coordinates are, oops, closer to where our project is. That's in our proper coordinate values for NAD 83, which is what we had originally told the thing to be. So this well, I'll double check that I did it for NAD 27. All right, so that being the case, I'm going to run through that one more time here, making sure. So I'm going to grab this and bring it back to here. And let's try that transformation one more time. So now I've got that file. I'm going to freeze this image for just a moment. Get my controls over here. And I'm going to go to my edit world file command, which you do not, excuse me, you do not have in Survey. And the file I want to use is this one right here. And now I'll do the transformation on it. And the transformation, my source coordinates are in this transformation settings that I had done. And my destination, now that I know I'm in NAD 27, I want to tell it that I'm going to use that. I'm in US Survey Feed. I'll say okay. Oh, crap. Sorry. Figure how I did this now. That's what I had to do. I had to switch this to net 83. Shoot, I had all this figured out. Yeah, that's what I thought. So there's the net 83 business. Which is where it does come in net 83. So now if I transform that, whoops. See if I can do that transformation again now. I'm not sure it's going to let me, but we'll see. If we go from net 83, I think it's going to complain that it can't do the datum conversion again. Nope. All right, it's going to do it. Of course.
Well, Ken, maybe we should just find another way to do the location inset.
Yeah, well, actually, I was just trying to get a solution for you there for other projects going forward, but I think the thing to do is, again, I've got the other stuff that I can bring it in as the background, and I can even bring in Google Earth imagery, but those aren't necessarily all that accurate. But so in any case, what we do have is, get to that image geo. This one here. So we have this, okay, and it's again got that little bit of a shift, which is okay. But so what I'll do is I'm going to move this, and I'll move it from let's say there maybe, and that lines up fairly well. All right, so I've sort of shifted that back down to be in the neighborhood, the streets sort of where it's supposed to be. So that's, and again, this is from a Bing aerial image. Here's that 500-foot offset. Here's this property line. So I'm going to save this file as Summit View. Let's just, I'm going to call it, instead of Summit View boundary, I'm just going to call it SV location map for Summit View, or not Summit View, Summit View. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. All right. So that file now I will send to you. I don't think there's any dependencies here. Let me make sure. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. Ah, great. Yeah, there's that one that. What am I? Oh, I'm back in MicroStation. Sorry. Oh, it kicked me completely out. All right. If I see if I load that file up, what's it look like? SV location. Does it carry the image with it? So I want to send that to you so you can see it. Now this is going to tell me you can't find it. So this is what, Summit Point. Google Earth. JPEG. With a dash. Okay, so this one is the NAD 27 one. Yeah, that's what I had done, was load all these things up. And saw that they came in right over top of each other. So right there's my NAD 27 version. And then this one is the GeoTIFF. Okay. Does that one find itself? Yeah, it's found. I have a layer off. Oop, I do not. I don't know why that one's not there. But anyway, here's my there's my NAD 27 one, and here's the Google Earth one. If it'll, well, all right. It's not. Let me just take these off, and then I'll send you those. All right, so I'll send you those two files, one of which is, this is the image, and that is Summit Point Google Earth NAD 27. That's the one that we shifted, and that is fine. Let's see, that is the Google Earth NAD 27. All right. So I'm going to send to you, sir, the CAD file and this file. Point Google Earth, so that one. And this one. Send this to you. And off we go. So when you get that email, put that in your directory, and then I'll show you how we will make use of that.
When you say in my directory, you mean in the Carlson file I have in that job?
Yeah, you know where you store that file called Summit View Boundary? Just go inside that folder. That's what I mean by directory. Go inside that folder and make a new folder called Location Map. And put those two files I just sent you in that folder called Location Map.
Okay, I only see one attachment here.
What I just sent you?
Yeah.
There should be a DWG.
Yep, there is a DWG.
And there also should be an image file. Let's see, I just sent iCloud. There's Shep, yeah. So you should see a file called Summit Point Google something or other NAD27.jpeg.
Nope. There's a map DWG. Then there's a picture below that.
That's it. That's the file. Your email system is showing you the file.
Okay, well, how do I get it from the email to my
Just point to it with the mouse, right click and choose Save As or Save Attachment. Or you could go,
this picture?
Let's see. Just go up to the file, just click into the body of the email and then go up to the file menu of your mail program and choose Save Attachments. Does that give you a chance to find that folder?
Well, it says that there, it still says that there's only one attachment.
Oh,
Same one I saved, the DWG. When I save all attachments, it only comes up with one.
way to go, Microsoft. Well, all right, hang on a second, see what I can do. If I take that file, Summit Point JPEG, I'm gonna put him right here for the moment. Then well, I'll have to trick Microsoft into letting you actually use your computer. All right, so I'm going to send you into the mail. All right, this time you'll get the file as an attachment. It'll just think it's a file. As long as it lets it through, it might be too paranoid to let something through that it doesn't recognize.
Okay, that came through.
All right, so take that file, put it in that same folder, but you need to change the name of it. I just made the extension JJJ. You need to change the extension to JPG.
To JPG.
Correct.
Okay, I'm getting a warning that says if you change the file name extension, the file might become unusable.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to change it?
And yes, you do. You're changing it so that it will become usable, no matter what Bill Gates says you ought to believe. And then when that happens, you should be able to double click it and you'll see the image. You might even see it as a preview.
Comes up as a blank screen.
All right. Show, why don't you, let's share your screen. Okay, go ahead and share your screen with me, and then I'll take a look at. Okay. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
I thought it was blank.
It was.
Huh. Okay, well. Oh, I see. It probably hadn't been finished loading yet because you're putting everything on this OneDrive.
Yeah.
Which is okay. So it hadn't gotten fully up there yet, I think was probably what had happened. So, okay, now, so what we'll do at this point is we have this file called location map. And we've also got this file, which is the one we're working on. Now, what I'm going to do is, because all of that stuff is going to underlie all this mess in here, I'm going to go into that other file and we're going to use it to create, what we would normally show up here in our little area. But I'm going to save that as a PDF image And then we'll just attach that image into this one so we don't get this file all confused, okay? So to do that, I'm going to come back here to my start page, and I'm going to open a file, and I'm going to be in here. Wait a minute, seriously? All right. Back to mine here for just a second. Of course, all right. All right. Okay, now that should be, wow, the scale should be 2477.15. And these numbers, let's just start at the top. Looks like those are going to be the same. So rotation 89,050, 89,050. So it's width and height. Okay. All right. So let's save this, and this is our location map drawing. We've got that and its image. I'm going to we'll get rid of all the points in the drawing. That's fine. It would be an empty coordinate file. I'm going to say by number. All. There's none in the coordinate file. Yes. Oops. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so they're all done. I'm going to select similar. Actually, let's just take a look and see if we delete. Yeah, all wants the boundary really. I'm going to erase by layer.
And why are you erasing all that stuff from the location inset?
Because all I really want on that location map is just the outline of the boundary. You know, of the parcels and the actual boundaries. Because, you know, it's going to be at a 2000 scale. I don't know when you see it, and you're going to have all that information in your main file anyway. We're just doing this just strictly to get this image generated for the location map.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to pick that. And so that's basically it. And we're going to take, now is it these three maps? Is that the main property, or is it all four that we're talking about?
All four.
Okay, so I want this. Oh, actually, I took the wrong ones away, but that's all right. I'll take that. All right, so that. Oh, and this one. Okay, so I've got those four things. I'm going to change their line type. We'll just make them continuous, and their line weight, I'm going to make them nice and fat. And so when we draw those, we'll be able to see them stand out. Now I'm going to save this, and I'm going to come over here to a paper layout, and actually I'll just get rid of everything and start a new one. And I'm going to make this, if I go back to this, I want to take this, copy it from the clipboard to 0,0. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go back to here, and I think you had asked me this in your text the other day. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be transferring that one layout, which I realized I could have just, instead of deleting it, I already deleted it, but I want to take it from this open drawing, and it happens to be the layout right here. So I want to take that layout that's in your Summit View boundary, and I want to bring it into my file. So if I go to my, what you think of as your layer manager or layer, you know, this tool up here, layer control, and then switch from the layers tab, click down here on layouts, and you see any drawings you have open are here. So I've got them all expanded. So I'm going to take the one that's in this drawing, select that category. I'll grab that layout, and I'm going to drag it and drop it onto the same category in my other file. So I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to drag it and put it right there like that. And then let the mouse button up. And when I close this, you see I now have that. Okay.
Okay.
And there's that little place. That's what I wanted to get to was this. So all of this other stuff I can get rid of. That is gone. I'm going to erase everything within this space except for this bit, and I'm going to say remove, and I'll draw this little window right around that. Okay, so now that's all I've got. I've got a viewport, and I've got this little thing that says vicinity map, etc. So within this viewport, I'm going to now double click it, and I'm going to, now that I'm in the model, zoom extents. Okay, I see what I've got done. I've got to unlock it. So I'll select it. I'll come down here and hit that little padlock on the bottom, double click it on my status bar. Now I'll go back to double click inside. I'm going to zoom extents, and I'm going to take my site and get that sort of in the middle, so that when I zoom back to it, and I'll double click over here now, outside of it, so I can select it and go to my properties now and set that scale to 1 to 2000. If it's even in there, it's not, I have to make it custom. So 1 inch is 24,000. So if I were an inch to 100, it comes back as 0.01. So I need to be an inch to 2,000. So there's 0.002, is that right? Yes, maybe. About how big is this lot line across there, Michael, do you recall? Just nearest 100 feet or so.
I don't, I can look it up on plat here.
All right. Well, actually, I could just go, let's see, distance.
It's 517 feet.
Yeah, that was what, 1,050 across the width. So I'm just doing this to get an idea to make sure my scaling was correct. So that should be 1,000. So that should be, you know, a little over, well, that's saying it's 2 feet. So, or two drawing units. So I'm not at the right scale. I wish I could figure out what it's asking me. So right now I'm saying that scale let me set these up here so I can get 0.002, 1 to 2,000. Can't believe. That 0.0005. I don't know what the heck's wrong with my elementary math skills. All righty then. There now is our utility map, or our location map. And if I do a distance across, say, the width So 540 some feet. It should read a 1/4 inch or so, 1/2 inch. Yeah, 1/2 inch. 1 inch would be 1,000. No, 1 inch is 2. If this is 1 inch to 2,000 feet, I go from here to here. Yeah, half of that is, oh man. On the ground, I'm from here to here is,
Right.
1,070.
1/2 inch is 1,000 feet. It's 1,045 feet. That's not that far off.
Yeah, 1,045. I was, for whatever reason, thinking when I was over here doing this a minute ago that was it was 500 and something. So anyway, so that is at the correct scale. Now that's the extent of that picture. I didn't realize we need it to be a little further to fill up this frame. So think about that for a sec. If I go here, well, let's do this exact. That's where we want it to be. So if just so we don't lose it entirely, I'm going to freeze. Let's put the word. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Let's make them. All right, now we'll find these. And we'll make their color. $255. You'll see why in a minute. And now let's bring in the other file. Oh, shoot, I forgot. You don't have place Google Earth, do you? No, all right. Michael, I need you to send me this file back so I can get you that new image. Go ahead and just leave it open, but go to down here, and it was this one right here. Just email me that one if I share. Yeah, that's fine. Boom. All right, I'll go to my mail, and there's that. And now I will save. All right, so let me get to this, delete that. Save this as that and close. And I will then save this. And like Shep, summit point. Now go to location. Okay, so I'm going to now open location map, and that's fine. Let's take that out. Take both of those out. No longer need. Okay. Save this. And now let me I'll stop your screen sharing. I'm going to show you what I'm doing over here. So I now have your file open again, and I'm going to go to this images, and I'm going to place a Google Earth image. Okay. And I have to give it a file name. And I'm going to call that one Google Earth Aerial. And I'm going to pick the location. I'm going to show it by the screen. And I'm going to pick from here to here. And just aerial. Well, let me look for hybrid and see here in just a minute. There we'll say okay. Okay, so there it sits. And we still will need to do that little bit of a shift here in a minute. But for now, if I clip that, select. Select. Okay. Now, I want to move this. Just ever so slightly. Let's say from there. So move from there down to there. That's sufficiently good. Well, save this, and that should be good to go. Now, with that being done, let's see if I can't get this back to your end. Saved path. It's going to always lose track of that because it's looking for that directory. Okay, but I'll send you both these files. All right. So we save that. Now back in on your system, Michael, it's on your Carlson. Go ahead and close that file that you have open now. Not the boundary file, but just this location map file. Okay. And I'm going to now send you this back. I'm going to close this. And I'm going to take the DWG and the Google Earth. It's not exactly right with that. One moment. How about instead of keeping it, I bind that. I insert. to bind that. Let's see, XREF. Doesn't give me the option to bind the image. All right. All right, no worries. All right, so I'll send you these. So I'll share with you. And so now back on yours, I'm going to stop the screen share. Go ahead and share your screen again.
Okay, you want me to bring these two files over?
There should be 3. Put them in your, now I see, that's why I want you to share your screen. So I want to look at that because you only see 2 files. It's because Microsoft Outlook is making assumptions it shouldn't be. So I'm going to find that, see if I can find that file for you. Okay, now. Go ahead and open that email I just sent you.
Okay, what's on the other screen? I can drag that.
Just drag it over, yeah, like that, okay? There you go. All right, now, so you have, this actually is a file, but it's showing it to you as an image, as it does this. This is technically, my logo is technically a file as well. So these two will save. This one will also save. Now I've selected it. You can see with little gray grips right there. And wow, really? Maybe just save as picture. All right, fine.
Wait a minute, let me put it where.
Yes, navigate up to it. See, wait a minute, it needs a specific name. Go ahead, I'll fix the name in just a minute.
Go ahead and what? Save it as, call it what?
Just call it picture. Okay. I couldn't remember the name of it. It's called Google Earth Aerial. We'll go back to that. Now we're going to save these two. Let's see here. If I save that, save all attachments. Wow. desktop, on Shep 2020, on Lutman, on location map. Wonder why. Well, okay, Microsoft is beyond my way of logical thinking. So, all right, so here, there's picture, and I want it to be the same name as that. So I'm going to select that and copy, and then select that and paste. And then I'm going to come back here and we will open seriously? Poor old Microsoft, they just can't figure this out. Hmm. All right, well, we'll try it. We'll do it their way. So if I have my image, I need width, height, and scale. So I've got that. You have that. I've got that. You've got that, which may or may not have been the same thing. I don't remember, don't notice. And now I've got that. You've got, again, probably the same numbers. Okay. Whoa. Copy. Oh, I see. Let's just leave it at that. And then all right. So what I'm going to do there now is I'm going to lighten this image up a little bit. Let me send that to the back. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to create this as just as an image. So let me give you the best. Let's find the best way of doing that. Probably just all right. So now I'll correct my spelling error, and we'll see what that should look like. Oh, there it is. Okay. So that would be the location map. So we go from that, we'll save this, we go back to here, and I'm going to take this stuff away. And we're simply going to put that PDF file in. So I'm going to PDF attach. And we'll put it up here. We'll have to adjust it just a second. 1 east, and then we'll trim it. Okay. Image clip. Select the image. Is it going to let me? No. PDF clip. No. Did I just plain old clip? Let's, right. No. See, right now I've got a PDF file that's that big. I don't want it to be that big. I want to clip it. And I'm not seeing. I should just be able to clip that. And it's not letting me. Oops. All right. Give me a quick second. Telecad, clip, PDF, attachment. Open with underlined. PDF files can be attached. Enter PDF clipping type. PDF clip. Yeah, clip. Carlson? Did you not? This has gone from the ridiculous to the sublime. It's just unbelievable.
Well, there's got to be a quick, short, easy way to do this. It just
Oh yeah.
It's complicated.
No, and this cannot be the solution for you for every time you do a job. Again, I know how I would do it would be with, because I've got the GIS tools, I can load it up right in my coordinate space. But when you don't have that, and plenty of people don't have that, Mike, that's not an issue. I think what they do is they just get that image, they blow it up, and then they draw on it and they just stick it in the corner. It's not, I'm trying to get it to be exactly underneath where your actual geometry is what I wound up doing with this here. So if I do this, I'm back in location map. I'm going to, instead of make that PDF, let me export. all I want is what's within that little frame. But if I print or plot, and I want to plot from a window from here to here, and I don't want to fit to paper. Okay. So should be able to do it from here. Oh, switch this to letter window. Let's go from Microsoft print to PDF letter. Go from here to here. Do not fit. So there's the PDF, close. Portrait. Okay. Whoops, cancel. Let's give it 1 inch. It's good. All right. Let's see what we see. That's good. We print. Seriously, where did you go? Okay. Oh, I don't want a plot file. I want a darn PDF file. There. Why didn't that come up last time?
Yeah. That's the first one you did before.
Possibly. I know this is, but see, it should have prompted me to save the file name and it never would come up. See, I wanted to get that. I never did. All right, so now, if I look at that one, this, I can delete. This should be that. That's correct. Now, how I would love to trim that down. Can't do it here, but let's see what we can do over here. I'm trying to think. Carlson didn't give us the command to clip a PDF for whatever reason. I don't know why. There's a PDF merge. To go down it. It's a PDF attach. Yeah, I really don't know why, because it's definitely in the CAD tools to be able to do that. So this is all right, so if I move, So why is that now over top of the other? Draw order above that. Uh, it says do them last. Oh, maybe I need to make it not do last. There we go. All right. There it is. For whatever reason, I don't know why, Michael, and I'll have to play with that and see. It's going in the background. I can't trim it. I can't do any of the things that I would normally do.
So you can bring a PDF into this drawing.
Yeah.
Because that's what the tax mapper was telling me that they do, is they make a PDF of the tax map and just put it in their drawings as
Yeah. Which is what this file is, a PDF, but I don't understand why it won't let me trim it. See, when I do any kind of other CAD package, I bring a PDF file in. I can take a pair of scissors to that and trim any kind of border shape I want to around it and mask it off. It's called image clipping, and if I select it, see, I would normally I've got it selected. It's a PDF underlay. And you see, it's supposed to, see here it says show clipped. It says on. See, I should be able to clip that. So if I clip, see, and I'd select it and it won't let me. It just comes back to command. And if I do that same thing here, I just do a PDF attach. Oops. Hmm. Right, PDF. I'll put it here, 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 and here. Put it in 2000 scale. Okay. It's all well and good. Now, if I do a polyline, I should be able to clip that file. If I type clip, I select my PDF, oop, clip. All right, help. IntelliCAD. Clip. See, there's X, whether clipping boundaries are visible. Okay, It's fine. Clip image, adding clipping boundaries to define a rectangular clipping boundary. Insert clip XREF. Clip external references, external references. I want to clip an image. So your PDF. Export until you publish in your sheet list. PDF OSNAP, PBS, PDF publish options, attaching an underlay, insert, underlay, PDF attach. Okay, insertion point, that's fine, no problem. Or just, well, Michael, I don't want to dwell on this thing forever. Let me take a look at this for a quick second. If I print, I will go back and dwell on this forever and send you the updates when I get it figured out. But all right, so I'm going to print this. We'll just do it as a test. Let's see, layout. Okay, and we're going to put this as a test plot. Okay, so it will look like that, but that's sort of washed out looking. It's nice and crisp and black and gray up there. But that would suffice, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll call this one done, but I'm going to, I'll figure you out a solution, Michael. That's not a solution for you for going forward. You need to be able to do this.
Before we leave this drawing, let me ask you a different question. They have changed their minds about the topo. They want the full 2-foot contours shown
Yep,
on,
right.
they're shown on the model, but they're not shown on here. And I went into the
layer manager,
and found the ones that
yep, you're thinking along the right lines. And I could tell you real quickly, but yeah, that's sort of what you're.
I thought those and it didn't work.
Right. So here's why. Go ahead and close that off. It didn't work because what you were in was the column that talked about the global, or if you were out in, say, the model space out here, that's what toggles these on and off. See, when you have them thawed, when you do this, when you thaw them here,
yeah,
whether it's frozen or thawed, that governs whether you see it here.
Okay.
To control it from here is, again, if you do it from this same spot, now watch what would happen. That was called topo. And you see they're all thawed, but if right now the index ones are on. So if I freeze this, right? They've all gone away.
Yeah.
Here and here. You see those, the gaps are where they're missing.
Yeah.
If you zoom in there, you can, yeah, see there's one supposed to be in there. So that's sort of its global determinants, if you will. So I will put that layer back at the global or model level, and that was this index one. Okay, but now what I want you to notice, now if you look at it, I'm in the model space tab. Yeah. And I look all the way to the right and I don't see any further columns here, okay? But when I'm over here, and if I happen to be inside a particular viewport by double clicking in it, and then I run this command, I have not only the same columns that I always saw, but watch what happens when I go out to the right. I get whether or not these things are on. You see this VP color, VP line type. So I can change a layer's color, line type, line weight, transparency, whether or not it's printed, whether or not it is frozen or thawed. And that's this current viewport column, okay, as to whether it's frozen or thawed. So that's what we want to see, is we want to find that same set of layers. Here I've restricted it to just those contour lines. And now I'm going to go over here and you see, aha, you see this column called current viewport? Yeah. And it's this layer here called topo intermediate. So now when I turn it, when I thaw it, and it come back, and zoom into it, you see them? Yeah. Okay. So it all matters. It all depends on whether or not you are in or out of a viewport and which column of freeze and thaws that you turn on or off. And you can, that's how you control the way the drawing looks in different sheets. Like, remember we did another pretend sheet, a little practice sheet we did for the health department? Yeah. And I had you do that same thing. I had you go inside that viewport and thaw that layer, the VP thaw for the health department, but we kept it VP frozen for this one originally. Now they've changed their mind. So that's how you do that from the page layouts instead of the, from this design tab, or the model tab, which is everything globally. So if you freeze something here, even if you've got inside your viewport, you've got the VP thawed, yeah, you still won't see it because that model space has been completely frozen across the board when you do it from in that first set of columns. Right. So it won't matter. Okay. Now, here's something else. What's going on over here? I notice you've got this giant north arrow. How big is that? It goes from here to here. That's like 4.5 inches long, 4 1/3.
How did it get so big? It wasn't that big to begin with, I don't think.
No, it looks like it's been scaled and all kinds of things. That's a block. Let's set its scales back to 1. It must have just been, oh, well, look at that. Every time, that's the size I'd like it, but you see this little outline here?
Yeah.
That's what it should look like, but that outline should be around the black stuff. It's like it's gotten to be in 2 parts. Do that again. Let me undo this whole thing. And let's explode that. And so you've got 2 north arrows here. You've got this one. Nope, that's, let me see. Excuse me. And if I take, I get rid of all of that. What is this? This is a block. This is a block. This is a block. This is a line. So this stuff, I don't know what caused that, Michael. It's something's been maybe accidentally selected and then exploded. And okay, so those are fine. And we'll scale them up a little bit bigger. It looks a little better. All right, we'll see here. Layer 0. Yeah, why not? Attach it. We'll use a solid, if I can get to it. Yes. God, really? All right. There we go. Now I'll turn all of that into a block. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now this is the whole block. It's a north arrow, now it's good to go. All right. So that's that. You got your contours on. Were there any others? You needed to do an area table and that kind of stuff, right?
Not for a concept, I don't think.
Okay.
I'd like to send this off tonight to the facilitator and
To the facilitator. Yep.
Get them to bless it.
Okay. Now, are all you sending them PDF files?
Yes.
Okay, so this will come across. He won't see this up here and wonder what's going on until we can get it fixed. That'll be fine. Let me also see something. I may be able to. Keep that from being quite, oh, I guess we need to put that back. There we go. All right, so let's give it just a wee bit to lighten it up. All right, so that'll be nice and crisp up there now. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so is that done to the point that you would send it? Like you need to change the date or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I could change the date to today's date, I guess.
All right. I'm gonna let you take care of that.
What is today's date? The 16th.
Yeah. My brother's and my grandson's birthday is next Wednesday on the 23rd. So I've got to figure out how to ignore one and how to dote on the other. So that's going to be fun. All right.
Okay.
You are marked concept plan, so that's all great. And if it's good to go, we should be able to, first of all, save your drawing.
I did. I'll save it again.
All right.
And do a plot, make sure everything
Yep.
is copacetic.
And all that looks fine. And you're going to put it, you can type any name you want. Call it Summit View or SV concept plan, something, wherever. But realize you're in your folder called location map. I see up at the top as well. So
what date is today?
16th.
No, I guess I should not do that.
You might want to put a space there. You go, so you can read it there. And now change your folder up at the tip top. There you go. Just go up one. And do you have if you need to make a new folder, just right click and call it like output or whatever. Right click in the blank space underneath. Well, you're wherever you have it, if you've got it in. Okay, now go and look at that file and see if it suits. There it is. Very good.
Yeah, it does look good.
Okay. Give that a whirl. And in the meantime, this location map, that was absolutely insane, Michael. And I'm sorry that it turns into that. My problem is I've got these other tools that I'm able to use. So I do that on my work and I forget. And so
that software that the mapper talked to me about, that she
yeah,
said
well,
that's free GIS software.
yeah, and that was called what did she say? Do you recall?
TGIF.
TGIF? Like, thank goodness it's Friday.
Friday.
I'll take a look at it and see if that is something that works. It might be that it only works with stuff at Jefferson County. I don't have any idea, but TGIF. But I'll take a look. If it gives you a solution, then by all means, I'll get you a workflow and show you how to work it.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on the immediate horizon? For that,
next
before
week I need to start drafting another plat. If you just, I haven't quite finished completing the lot. We've already done some work on it, but I just need for you to help me get it into the form where I can start clicking and dragging and stuff in, and I can get it pretty much finished, and then you will have to help me clean it up.
Okay. Now you said in your text yesterday or the other day. Let me go back to it. Yeah, you said you wanted to also need me to show you again how to set up a drawing by copying the layers and using the template.
Yeah.
So the easiest way is if you have a drawing that you've already done that you like the way it's done.
Yeah.
Is to open that drawing and then immediately do a save as and give it that name. And then you can erase all of the things that are drawn in it, go to the model tab and just select everything and delete it all. And then you're left behind with all the layers already named and the line work is all defined and everything goes like that. Now the other way to do it,
all the notes and stuff are off to the side. And
yeah, well, that's usually on the paper space side. Okay. Yeah. So that works from there. Now, the other way to do it, and the way I actually like to do it, is you go ahead and start working on your drawing and the reason I like to work this way is because I usually start a drawing sort of ad hoc, and I sometimes, will, hey, I'm just going to start drawing my my property lines or my corners or my points or whatever I've got, and says, now I need to start putting it into a plat. Well, then I may have another file that I liked the way things were done. So I'll go and open that file. And then I'll use that layer manager and I'll open up those categories and I'll see a layout tab in the file that I like. And I'll drag it and drop it onto that same category in that layer manager in my file. And that lets me inherit all the things that I liked in that other file. I can do the same thing with layers that I may want to get all of their layers. I can do blocks. Okay, so, and I'll let you choose it because you have two files open right now. If you go up to the layer manager, what you know of as your layer manager, you're almost there. There you go. Up one. Nope, one to the right. There, right there. Layer control. I'm sorry, I keep calling it manager. That's an old habit. Now, look in the far left column. You see the categories are showing, and there's also, you see the name of the drawing.
Yeah.
The one that's bold-faced and expanded is the one that you're actively working in right now.
Right.
All the other ones that you have open are also shown below. Now, if you click on any one of these categories, you're going to see all the things that pertain to this particular drawing that you're in.
Right.
This with line styles. In fact, go to the blocks category in your drawing. Because remember, we just did a block.
Yeah.
And now there's a lot of blocks in here, but if you scroll that down, or maybe it's alphabetical, I'm not sure, look for that north arrow. Should start with the N. There it is, north arrow revised, okay? So that's one that I made in this file. And then if you go to the far left column now where it says SV location map 1, all the way one more column over, there you go. Open up that plus mark and look at its blocks. Click on the blocks, there you go. And you see it doesn't have the same block. And if you wanted that block that was in the other drawing to be defined in your drawing, then you just go back to the upper one where it says blocks, click on blocks. There, yeah. Go over there and find that north arrow revised that we did. Now, click and drag it and drop it on the word blocks in the far left column in the drawing that you opened up. There you go, like that. It's now done. Now close this.
Close the whole thing?
Yeah, close that layer control box. And now up at the top tab, switch to the other drawing. Okay, now look at your layer controls for this drawing. Click the blocks category, and now you see that north arrow revised is in there. However, you don't see it anywhere in the drawing because all you've really done is define the block, which means it's available for placement. So if you select it and drag it and drop it out on that gray spot of the screen behind you, just yeah, just let it go. Now close this box off, and you should see it somewhere. I would have thought. Let me see. No, all right, I'm probably. I guess I'm misremembering a different piece of software. All right, so, but anyway, it's in our definitions, but what that means is now that you can, when you go to the insert menu, I go to draw insert, and now, see, I don't have that file anywhere on your computer. It only lives in that drawing, but it's now defined. Now I pull this list down and I see that north arrow revised. And there now you can see where it's gone in like that.
Okay, well, if you have a few more minutes, let's look at a different drawing. We don't need this one anymore.
Yeah, that is correct. You do not. You may close that off. And no need to save any changes, and you can save that that you, I think, have saved, but that's
okay, there's another one I want to open here.
okay.
I can open it from down here, can't I?
You may, yeah. You could also have done it the way you were doing it. Either one's fine.
Okay, this is actually what we worked on.
Yep. Right, I remember working on this one with you. Yep.
And I need to make some changes and revisions to it, but I need to start drafting it. So I'd like to.
You need to make those. Did you ever fix those back to 10,000 square foot reserves?
Yes.
Okay.
But
oh yeah, I see. They're the red ones. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What he has decided to do, though, is he has realized he can't get as many lots in here as he wants, so he's just going to take this entire area and divide it up into 4 lots. He can only do 2 right now, but he can do 2 more in 5 years. But what I'd like to do is have this thing called layout, but I'd like to bring all of that other stuff in here, the notes and stuff.
Sure. Okay. So you have it from 2 different drawings. You've got now, if you right now you've got this one layout just called plain simple layout 1, and it's probably not even defined as a sheet size. Okay, so if you want to get everything from Summit View into this drawing, the easier way to do that is to bring that entire layout over here with it.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, there's another way to do things piecemeal, and I will show you that as well, but let's do the layout first. So just like we did with that block, go to your layer control. Okay. Now you're in.
Here. See, okay, have both drawings open.
Yeah. And the things you can share between the two are in that left-hand column.
Go to layer control.
It's a shame. Carlson calls it layer control because that's what AutoCAD called that particular button, but the only thing that AutoCAD ever showed you were layers. But IntelliCAD puts what they call, this whole thing in IntelliCAD is called the Drawing Explorer. And that's really what it ought to be called, so that you know it contains more than just layers, but for whatever reason.
Okay, so.
All right. So now the things you can transfer file to file are in that left-hand column. Those are the categories.
Okay.
And the drawing that you are in will show up above that category list in boldface. That's the active drawing.
Yeah.
The other drawings that you have open, if any, will show up as other lines, but they're not boldface. And that's what you see above it there as Summit View Boundary.dwg, but it has the plus mark to the left of it because it's collapsed down.
Actually,
and if you open,
there's a different drawing I'd like to copy from. I'd like to copy from that minor subdivision drawing that we did.
Okay. All right. So close
too.
this. Well,
so I close Clemens View.
Yes. Yes. Close that. No, not there. Yeah, right there. No, oh, no, back where you were, up to the upper right. Close that whole box. There you go. Get the drawing open first. Is this a file that you've had open recently?
Yes.
You go to your file menu and you can find it under recent sometimes, but okay, this is fine too.
Oh, I haven't had it open recently enough. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll go to there, I'll go to...
There you go. All right. Now go back to your drawing that you're wanting to put things in, which is your 2008 or 2008 LK.
Some of the view drawing is still open.
That's okay. That's fine. Just leave it there and I'll show you why.
Okay.
Why it's okay and how it works. Now go back to your layer control. And now you see you have 3 drawings listed in the left.
Yeah.
Yours being expanded in boldface. So you can swap these in between any and all of these things. Like if you've got something in Summit View you like and something over in REI 20010 that you like, you just, go back and forth between each one and copy them. Or you say, well, I want to put in REI, I want something out of Summit View into that file. Well, you can do that from right here. So
Okay.
what we're going to do is, because we're sort of deficient in the layout tab for our drawing, our LK land, let's go ahead and copy that. We'll copy the one that we want from the file that we want, whichever one it is. And remember, it's going to be a layout. So if you select that layouts right there, you see there's one called ANSI C, and then there's the layout 1, and then there's model space. So the ANSI C is the one that we want.
That's
And Yes, and it doesn't have to be, it doesn't matter if it's selected. That just means that's the one that's active if you were to switch over to that drawing.
Okay.
Okay. But now, while that's there and showing, position that little up and down scroll bar thing so that you can make sure that you're looking at the, all right, right there, that's fine. You see the title of your drawing?
Yeah.
Right there, and then it also has the layout, the views, layouts, blocks, and all that. Okay, don't click on it yet. What you want to do is you just want to make sure that you have the right target in view.
Okay.
So now, because you have selected the layouts category from the drawing you want, and now you're going to go over into the right-hand part and you're going to select that ANSI C17X22 and click and drag it onto the category that says layouts in your file. Right there, and then just let the mouse up. Okay, now go back. You can close this off now. And look down at the bottom. Okay, now that's there, but you may notice that it's, okay, you go back to that. See, that's there, and that happened to be the, you know, this is the viewport.
Right.
But remember that viewport is looking over at the other place.
Right.
Where it happens to be. So we'll rearrange where that is in just a minute. Okay. And in fact, let's see, what else do we, all right, so that layer, or that point number 207 is in your drawing. Where is 207?
In this drawing or in the?
Yeah, no, in this drawing. It's,
I don't know. I can find out where it is.
you can always just go to inquiry and find points by number 207. All right, so there it is. Wow, it is here, up around 200, 202, 207, 210, 209. But, and you see those coordinates, I'm in like 5,000 world. Whereas my site is over here.
Yeah, this is on State Plane.
Yeah, so, but you still happen to have, excuse me, some points over there. And that's where your viewport is looking. It's looking into that area. Okay. Now, what I would recommend, do you need anything over there?
No.
That could have been left over, or it could have been something you've gotten copied in. So what I would recommend is,
that's a radius point. I need those.
yeah. So what I'd recommend is getting like sort of near your area. And now go up to the edit menu for a minute. And you want to choose erase. And you want to erase outside. Okay. Now I want you to pick the corner of a window. So pick it good and big so that you're, you know, like come down to say like here.
Okay.
And click down there. And then drag up and to the right about the same, yeah, like in there. So make sure that, you know, in case there's anything in there that might pertain to your site. So go ahead and click it. And it asks, do you want to update the coordinate file for that point 202? Remember 202 is the one that's way down at 0, 0. And just say yes to all. And it should, I'm not sure exactly what it did to them. Let's look at your coordinates. Let's go to the points menu. And list points. And let's say all. So, okay, and did it keep those points, 202, 207? But there's 202. See, they're still there. Okay. So it it didn't it didn't delete your points. But now if I do, I just zoomed extents, and this is all that's in the drawing.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
have any points out there anymore back in 5,000 land, but, and I can look at that by looking at points, and I'm going to go to my utilities, and I'm going to run a report. And I think I should be able to filter this process coordinate file. We're going to do the file. Use points, unused points. No. I thought there was a way. Source of points, drawing. Ah, this is what I want. That right there. Report points missing in drawing. I would just say, oh. So it's telling us that those are points that are not in your drawing, and they came, and there's your 200 and 207 and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can decide to get rid of those out of that coordinate file if you want, but if they're pertinent to you, if you need them, keep them in there. I'm suspecting you probably copied them from another job or whatever, and any of that's fine because you still have.
No, I did a rotation translation from a 5,000 drawing to a state plane.
Yeah, that's right. And you didn't bring those along for the ride. I
Right.
got it. Okay. All right. No problem then. So you can also do something like this. See these 200, 202. If you knew that same, and if you needed to bring those along, you could just, draw those points out there and go get them and bring them up. But I think you've gotten done what you need to get done. Okay. So now you've got a couple of things to remember to do here. You got a bunch of points, they're all kinds of different sizes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and if you're going to use them for your plotting, I'd recommend changing your text style of the point. I'm going to talk you through this so you get to remember how to do it.
Okay.
So go back to your go back to your layer control again. And we're going to set a text style. We're going to edit a text style. There you go. And we see on the left, there's one called PTXT that stands for point text.
Yeah.
So click that. And then toward the middle where it says there's a column called font name. Yeah, pull that down and change that to something that's a little more palatable. Either the IC Roman S or Arial or however you like it. If you like some of those other ones, like I use Calibri on mine, but it's up to you. Or actually, I use Calibri Light because the Calibri is a little heavy, but there's Arial, or you can use Arial Narrow. Any of that is good. Okay.
Okay.
Now you can close that off. And now your points are showing up in a different font. That part's good. But notice they're all different sizes. Now, do you remember how we did the different sizes?
Point the attribute.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. And now you could say, yeah, you would say absolute.
What's the difference between absolute and scale? I've always used
Well,
scale.
scale, you could see like that number 217. If you say, I want that number 217 to be 3.5 times larger than it is, you would type in 3.5, but if you want absolute, you have to give it an actual size. You'd have to compute what it is. So you're going to want to do, now escape this for a minute. So you cancel the command, and we need to go back and figure out what size to use. So let's go back to the settings menu and see what is their drawing setup, what scale. So it's 100 scale. So that's probably going to be what fits on our sheet. Is that right?
Let me look here. I think so. It's going to be the same
Okay.
size sheet, 18 by 22. I don't have that folder. Let me grab it here.
Well, you can probably tell by, I think we started something here. Yeah. So I went back to this layout one, and I see I've got a bar. So that's your 100 scale.
Yeah.
Now that layout one, I think we saw was a, that's just an 8, that's 11 by 8, that's an 8.5 by 11. Okay, and that's a 100 scale. So here, if I have this and
he's got this plat drawn, previous plat with the two previous lots that are there in front at 100 scale on 18 by 20.
Okay, so if I take,
now look at, let me, I'm going to take a picture here and send you the, I don't know if this is a vicinity map that he's got. This looks just like it's an old USGS map, nothing fancy. And I know
okay,
and he's okay, but he's no technical wizard. So
right.
it's not. I know I'm trying to imitate the guys that are like me. They're one-man shows operating out of their house. They're not. I can't compete with the big boys.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so that would be at 100 scale.
Okay. Oh.
See, that's set to 100 scale, and so what I did was I went back over to here. I selected that layout and that bar scale. Oh, I guess I should have gotten this one too. I did a right click, clipboard, copied with a base point of 0, 0. And then I went back to here and I clipboard paste, and I put it, just wherever it needs to go. I'll just stick it there for the moment. Okay. So that, because remember when we were in here, you see that XY icon? That's the rotation because we wanted to line it up with their sheet.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, that's what this, this could be, and there's no reason to use this one. We could just delete it and just bring this one down in its place.
Okay.
And so, in fact, let's go ahead and do that. We'll just delete that one. And remember this one from your other job, that's a layout, but that was looking at the legend. Yeah. And up here is another layout that was looking at the location map.
Right.
So both of those may or may not be needed. You could just get,
Well, no, they will need a location inset.
I mean, you'll need those elements on your plat, but whether you do them from a layout into the model or not, it's a different story.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, so right now, here's everything I've got in this model. I had this layout. I now have that entire layout over here, and it's been copied. The gray shading behind that little outline here doesn't show up because it's the same color as this background.
Yeah.
So we can fix all that. But we will need to reset our point sizes and stuff like that. So we'll start on that. Let me get back down to here. I'm also going to set this. It's already there. Okay, never mind. But keep in mind too, when we're doing this, you still got some stray things like these drawn property lines for the joiners, and that's okay. But just make sure, you go through it and scrub off the stuff you don't need pretty thoroughly. All right. Yep. Now back to here, we're going to use 100 scale as our plat preparation. So we want any points that we happen to use, and they may be all turned on out here, but over here inside our viewport, we may freeze different ones that we don't want to see. But let's just make all the points consistently the same size, wouldn't you think?
Yes.
And so let's do that. We'll go to the points menu now that we know the scale we're going to use. Okay. And we're going to resize the point attributes. And we're going to go by absolute, because we're going to type in a number. Now, the point attribute and symbol size. So this is the size of those round circles. Now I want these to be 1/10 of an inch. And this is a command that unfortunately you answer in ground distance and not in plotted inches, because because the programming is inconsistent is what it is. So we're going to type 10 for that instead of 8. It says 8 because that's what it was the last time we did it. And I'll show you why. That's fine. We'll hit enter. Now, what do you want to scale? Only the symbols, only the labels, or both? Well, we want only the symbols. We want the symbols to be that 10. And we hit enter. Now, select the points either one of those ways, by screen, by group, or by number. Let's type S for screen. Doesn't matter. And now it asks you to select and just type ALL. So you're saying getting everything that's on the screen. And enter. And enter one last time to finish the selection set, and scale the main symbols only, the second only. So apparently there are second symbols apparently, and or both. So we'll choose both. And the reason it said main or second is because some of these points are probably in here twice, and they've been put in once with one symbol, once with another. That's okay. So now they're all done and scaled. We're going to repeat the command, and this time we're going to do it for the text, but instead of making it 10, we're going to make it 8. And this time L for labels. And you can select by screen. So type S. There you go. ALL. And finish the selection. And say B for both. Okay, now they should all be, when we look in this little mess, they're all the same size. There's some different rotations. There's all kinds of stuff going on. That's fine. You can resolve that as you need. If I look into it up here, you can, and there you can really see those.
Clean that up.
Yeah. So now you can really see those wipeouts because it's on this gray background. Right. Whereas when you're over on when you're over the page, you can't tell that they're there.
Right.
Okay, so that's something nice now. And the rotation, for instance, if you're going to if you want these to line up square to the page, well, that command is also on the points menu, and you're going to do your twist point attributes. Okay, but right now, remember, I'm in the paper space. I need to double click down inside of this.
Yeah, those are control points, and I'll probably just turn those off. They won't show up on the.
Sure. Well, but like this IPF
right.
down here is
Yeah.
not. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to fix that one, go to your points menu. I'm gonna let you drive again. So you go to your points menu, and you want to twist your point attributes. There you go. And you want to twist by the twist screen. That's what you want, because your screen has been twisted. So you want these to line up to be perpendicular to the screen. The attributes to twist, you're going to say all of those. And now enter an angle that's relative to the current twist angle, and that's going to be 0. You want them to line up, so that they match the angle. And now select the points again from the screen grouper number. Just type S for screen, and then pick that number 15 or draw a window around that corner. You can leave your. Is there only one point there? It looks like there might be several. So.
I think there's only one.
All right. Well, we'll see when you finish. If we need to, we'll go back. Yeah. Yep. See, there's a 13 under there also.
Actually, I think 13. I think what happened is I shot that point twice.
That's fine.
Because it's in the woods, and I was using GPS. I wanted to have those two shots to compare.
Okay. So you could erase 13. You could do all kinds of stuff. But let's go over here. All these things around over here on the corner. Over here in this corner, and I'm just going to repeat the command. So I'm going to go back here, and from either here or, since it was the most recent, it's here. Repeat. I'm going to say T for twist. All attributes. 0 angle from the screen. And now when you select, just drag a window around like that. I'm through selecting. And now they're there. Now they're still, the attributes still overlap. So you could do things like move point attributes with a leader.
I need to change that whole symbol.
Yeah, because you got 1's an X and 2 are circles.
Yeah.
And if you made those circles with the wipeouts in them, you'd never see that line.
Right.
In between them. So yeah, you can fix all that. But that's how you do that sort of stuff. Okay. Now I'm going to R for restore, and I'm just going to pick each of those. So in case you, let's see, R again, and then R. All right. So I'll let you do your rotation, but I wanted you to know where the command was. It's points, and it's that twist the point attributes. Okay. And almost everything to do with the points being displayed in the drawing are talking about the attributes, and that's almost all of those commands are in this bottom block, this big block down here.
Hey, Ken, I'm going to have to go now. I've got another
that's fine.
meeting at 6 o'clock, and I've got to get there and feed the dogs and all that.
Yep, good enough. Yeah, and grab yourself something to gird your loins for your next meeting. So,
right.
Yeah, so I'll take a look at trying to figure out that image thing.
Well, one more question.
I get what,
how do we get this thing down in there?
Well, first of all, there's 3 things there. There is the viewport itself, the red viewport.
Yeah.
There's the north arrow, and there's the bar scale.
Right.
So you simply select those 3 things, and you can just pick on each one individually, and you don't need to get the things inside the viewport, just pick the frame. Okay, and now pick also the north arrow and the bar scale if that's what, if you want those to go with you. And now that you'll have to, there's also, if I recall, Mike, I think there's, nope, that got everything. I thought maybe the shading might have been a separate thing, but it looks like it's got it all. Okay, so now they're selected, you could simply just move them. You can right click and choose move or type the letter M and hit enter. Okay, and just be careful of your snapping. So when you move it down below.
Turn the snapping off.
Yeah, just go up to that red X in the tool. There you go. Okay, now position it where you think it's going to fit best, and that's all well and good. Just click it down. There you go. Okay, because remember that viewport frame is a hole cut into your model, and it doesn't matter that the location that it looks down on the ground in your model is set and locked to that viewport. Where the viewport sits on the page is immaterial. The viewport always looks through the same hole. It's just where that hole, you know, where it gets positioned on the page. That's why you only had to select the frame to move the whole thing. And you haven't changed the location of those drawn geometry elements. You've just repositioned it on the paper, that's all.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
All righty. I'll check out your image stuff. At some point, you can send me a picture what the other guy has. I think I know what you mean. It's just a means of showing where it is.
Already.
Yeah, okay.
You can look at all
So
those drawings I sent you. I think they all have location insets on them.
yeah, and they do. And I was trying to give you sort of a fancy schmancy leg up on the competition a little bit, and it's proving to be way
take that long to do
yeah.
it.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's proving to be too arduous a task, and it's not worth. There's nowhere near that kind of an advantage that it gains you.
Right.
So we'll get you the solution that you need, and it's just because I do stuff in other software, and I apologize for that. It's easy in those other things, and I forget sometimes that not everyone has access to those same tools. So we'll get you something.
Now let me ask
I think
one more quick question. If I close
sure.
this whole Carlson thing, and I've got
Yep.
3 drawings open,
all those are open. Yep.
and
Yes.
will they all be open again when I come back in?
No, they will.
Okay,
You'd have to open them all individually. Yeah.
Okay.
But it will also prompt you if anything has changed in any of those drawings. It will ask if you want to save changes, and so if you've made any purposeful changes, you would want to save them. So just be aware of that. All right.
Okay.
Now, Telecad tried to save your menu, rivers, and his customer save this. Changed your say yes. I don't think it's going to matter at all, but just go ahead and say yes. All right. All right. So that's that. I will. I guess I'll shut the meeting down, and I will. Let me see. Stop your sharing. I'll shut the meeting down, and I'll send you the recording links where I've got the other one downloaded, and again, I just haven't pushed it up yet to the other. But we'll go from there, and I'll let you get on with your evening. We'll check back in. I've got tomorrow's pretty bogged down with stuff, but whenever you get ready, maybe Thursday or Friday was today. Let's see, tomorrow's Thursday is pretty much gone. I got to do my grandson. So maybe Friday, if you want to get back together, we can for a short session, or just whenever it gets to the point where you need some help, give me a yell. Okay?
Will do. Thank you.
All right, Michael. You bet. Take care.
Bye.